We are back inside the alumni-owned Sports Page Lounge here in Collinsville, part of the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery. Joe Pott, another fall sports preview for you, and I'm joined now by our head track and field and cross-country coach and alumni, Marcus Evans. Coach, thanks for taking some time.
Thank you for having me. Excited to talk to you.
Is this year 4 now for you back here?
Yeah. So I feel like I've graduated
right
in the coaching ranks now. I'm really excited to get a new generation of student athletes going after a long time with pandemic and student athletes that we inherited on the front end.
And that's so when you get to year 4, like you're starting now to get to your full rosters and what you and your staff have brought in here to SIUE. And as we were talking a little bit, you and I, it's going to be a lot of turnover this year specifically for you.
Yes, big turnover. So we graduated on the track and field side, 20 athletes on the men's and women's. So our group we're bringing in, especially on the cross country side, is huge. And they're the best recruits that we've ever had on campus, which is really exciting. And it's also an exciting endeavor because we're getting the type of student athletes that we wanted. Had a little bit of a slow burn over the first 3 years, but this 4th year is really, really exciting because we feel like we're getting to the student athletes that we really want, and they're going to be able to develop over the next 4 years in a really special way.
Being that we're obviously previewing fall sports, when you are looking at a distance runner and you're looking at someone to add to the team, are there athletes that you want, like, hey, you're really going to help our cross country side, or is it just a matter of we're getting some really strong distance runners that are going to help us in the fall and again in the spring?
Yeah, on the distance side, it can be a mixed bag a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of student athletes that want to focus on the mid distance, shorter distances, 800 and 15. But when you're running 6K, 8K, 10K at the national championships for our men, we definitely need that toughness in those student athletes that are just willing to put it on the line no matter what event they're going to be doing. So it really kind of depends, but we see a lot of potential in a lot of student athletes because you only go up to 3,200 2 mile for most states. When you're talking about track, it's only a 3 mile race in high school for cross country, and so there's a lot of student athletes that are going to be able to run those longer distances, 4K, 6K, and 8K. So
we're talking with the head cross country and track and field coach, Marcus Evans. We're at the alumni-owned Sports Page Lounge here in Collinsville, and you mentioned it, and as you said there is going to be a learning curve, right? When you have this many newcomers to the roster, to college running, there's going to be a learning curve. Yeah,
definitely, and I think that learning curve starts with a big culture shift and making sure that our student athletes love running. They're taking care of each other. We talk about altruism a lot, the unselfish concern for the welfare of others, made manifest through the willingness of fellow teammates to promote group interest over personal advantage. That's a really long quote, but it's really important to our coaching staff that our kids are taking care of each other, because especially in cross country, there's only 7 that get to run, and you want to be as close as possible. And so, that sounds cliche because we want them to be close personally as well. But, when you have a team that's going to take care of each other and really fight for each other, brothers and sisters in arms, that's how you kind of build a red pack and get that group right across the line in the shortest amount of time possible.
Right. And because we're talking about cross country, track and field, you have assistant coaches that are very specializing in what they do, and you have an assistant in Josh Wolf that is, I would almost say, like a pseudo head cross country coach for you.
Absolutely. I mean, he runs the show when it comes to our distance training. We have a really good relationship. We are both track and field cross country running nerds. We've been sitting here like texting and talking all throughout the Olympics.
Right.
That's been going on about tactics. There was a huge 1,500 meter race the other day, which we both had opinions about. But he does a great job galvanizing that group and advocating for them, taking some of the stress off of me in terms of me being able to work with the sprinters and hurdlers every day. So he's awesome. He's won national championships on the NAIA level, and that's one of the reasons why we brought him here, is because we want to do that here as well.
And it's interesting because it essentially sets up like 3 different sports if you talk about cross country, indoor, and outdoor. So you as a head coach have to lean on those assistants.
100%. We have an amazing staff. We just talked about Josh. Erin Wyckoff, who heads up with our throws, is amazing. She's from the area. And so we're just so happy that we have 3 coaches, me being an alum, that are really committed to the Midwest, committed to being here at SIUE and making it great. And that was the vision from the start. As soon as I got the nod to be able to be the head coach here, I wanted to build a group of coaches that we can communicate day in and day out, but also have a passion for the sport and a passion for this place, because we want to make the Cougars amazing.
We talked about the roster a little bit, but you told me we can expect another Woodard on your roster.
I know. The 4th Woodard, after the 4th year of coaching, is I guess 4 is a special number for us, but she's going to be very special, along with some of the other freshmen that we're bringing in. I mean, we're expecting her to be in our top 5 and really vie for some conference championships on the track side and the cross country side here in the future. Had a great showing at state. In cross country especially, and so we're just super excited. I mean, the Woodard family, we're trying to figure out if there's more kids that we can bring in, so maybe some of the older boys are going to have to start having kids so we can keep the recruiting trail
second
going.
generations, right?
Yeah.
How do you balance that expectations, right, and confidence with also, hey, there's going to be some tough times and there's going to be some reality checks?
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that's different about cross country is there are no timeouts. You can't really just say, hey, let's take a break, let's calm down, let's get back together. And so really building on that mental performance aspect, making sure that they're confident in what they're doing, what they're going to see on the course, knowing when people are going to make moves, when we need to do, how we need to set up our race plans is all a part of that. And so really we try to build our team up with a great deal of confidence so that they're ready to go when whatever comes.
Let's talk a little bit about the schedule as you obviously are building towards the OVC championship and then the NCAA regionals. What are you looking for in races to do that for your team?
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky enough that in the Midwest we have really, really strong meets that we get to compete at week in and week out. So lucky enough to be able to go to Bradley for a little bit of a preview of the NCAA regional. And then conference will be over at Martin, Tennessee. Other than that, we're going to Mizzou, which is one of the best courses in the nation. They're vying to host the national championship soon here, and also going to Louisville, and then just trying to get started with an early meet and see where we're at.
Is it courses or competition as far as the teams? What's going to better prepare your teams?
Well, we're lucky enough to practice day in and day out on one of the toughest courses in the nation. And so I think the course part of it is a little bit of an aspect there, but also just kind of knowing who we're up against and how that plays out. I mean, do we want to get in a kicker's race with the best 800 runner in the conference? Probably not. And so that just plays in. I mean, that's a little bit of our scouting as we're able to look at TFRs, which is our descending order list, fastest times, slowest times in the conference, and see what everybody's done and how they're doing. And so we can play in with that, but also every course is going to be different. So, you're not going to have to go up Big Poppy, our big hill at SIUE.
Big Poppy.
I know. Aptly named. It is a monster. I don't even let my sprinters usually run it because it's so long. It's about 400 meters from bottom to top. So, we just try to make sure we're going week to week and preparing just like any other sport would. Hey, these are who we're up against. This is who we need to key off of. We know this person's going to get out fast, but also know, hey, a move's coming up this hill, a move's coming going down the hill. The finish is going to be a tough battle. Those types of things.
Well, Coach, the season will be on us before we know it. Your athletes coming back to campus. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Another fall sports preview here at the alumni-owned Sports Page Lounge. Joe Pott with our head track and field and cross-country coach Marcus Evans. More previews to come.